Hello, Mr. Hanson again. Now we're going to look at dividing fractions. So I'd like to just start with an example. Let's say, for example, we had 2/7 divided by 4/11. 2/7 divided by 4/11. Another way to write that same thing would be vertically as 2/7 divided by 4/11. Same problem written differently, two different ways. Okay, let's do the version in the brown there. The key is to, when you divide fractions, is you want to multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, reciprocal is when you flip a number over. Multiply by the reciprocal of the second or bottom fraction. Okay, and I say fraction, sometimes that might be a whole number, but remember whole numbers can be written as fractions by just putting the number over 1. So any number that is rational can be written as in the fraction form. So, going back to the example, 2/7 divided by 4/11. So if we follow this rule, what we're going to do is we're going to take the first fraction and leave it alone. So the 2/7 stays the same. But now, as the rule says, it says multiply. So we're converting division to multiplying. And we got to take the reciprocal of the bottom. In this case, this is what I'm referring to for the bottom number, if it's written like this, or the second fraction, if it's written in this form. So the reciprocal of 4/11 would be 11/4. Okay, and now it just becomes a multiplication problem. So if you want to do the shortcut to reduce first, find common factors on the top and the bottom somewhere. Sure enough, 2 and 4 share a common factor of 2. 2 goes in itself one time. 2 goes into 4 twice. Doesn't look like we have any other factor pairs, so multiply across. 1 times 11 is 11. 7 times 2 is 14. So our solution, our product, well, in this case, our quotient of 2/7 divided by 4/11 would be 11/14. Okay, let's try one more. Let's try 1/9 divided by, let's do a whole number this time. 1/9 divided by 7. So the rule is change it to multiplication. So we leave the first fraction alone, and we're going to find the reciprocal of the second fraction. In this case, remember, whole numbers can be written as fractions by putting it over 1. So if I flip 7 over 1, I get 1/7. That's the reciprocal. And now it's a multiplication problem. So our solution would be 1/63. Okay? Let's say, we'll do one more quick. I know I said that was the last one, but when you're having fun, you got to keep going, right? Let's say, for example, I had 3 and 5/11 divided by 2 1/3. Okay, so now all of a sudden we have mixed numbers we want to divide, which is fine. I would encourage you, and I think we should always make the rule that if you have mixed numbers and you're dividing, let's change these to improper fractions first. Okay, so change both fractions to improper fractions. Okay? That's the whole idea. So to do that, remember we take the denominator times the whole number. So 11 times 3 is 33, and then add the numerator. So 33 plus 5 is 38, and the denomination is still the same, still an 11. So we'll leave that as 11, divided by 3 times 2. Let me move this up so you can see everything. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. and the denominator stays the same. So this problem in purple up here is the same problem here, just written differently. And now we can use the division rule about divide or multiply and flip. So we're going to leave the first fraction alone, and then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Check and see if you can play a slasher here. It doesn't look like we can slash anything, so we multiply straight across. Let's do this in our head. 8 times 3 is 24, so we'll have a 4 there and carry your 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus that 2 we carried is 114. Okay, all over 11 times 7, which is 77. And we'll just leave our answer in the improper form for this time. Okay, there's division in a nutshell.